All right, we're going to begin this class in a Supta Baddha Konasana. So starting to work through that lower part of our body. So come onto your back. And as long as this is comfortable for you, you're going to have your knees up and then walk the soles of your feet together. Let your knees drop out to the side. Just take a moment to notice how your low back feels here. If this feels okay, then fine. You should have a little bit of an arc in your back. If it feels like it's too much, press through your hands and your shoulder blades to lift up your hips and then just slide your tailbone down just a bit. And again, you don't need your low back like flat, but just creating a little bit of space. Allow your shoulders, the fronts of your shoulders, to drift back toward the mat. Got a couple options for your hands. Knowing that this is going to be a fairly active class, you might take your hands and place them towards the upper part of your thighs and just gently press down. Just giving yourself a little bit of a wake up. Let the muscles surrounding your eye sockets get soft. Maybe allow your eyelids to close. Settle into your breathing. Notice that this is where your strength and vitality comes from. Give long exhales. And then set a dedication or intention for this practice. Perhaps it's only to stay with the breath. Perhaps it is to stay in this moment. Or maybe if that's something else you're working on, this is up to you. And then several times we'll take collective inhales and exhales to solidify these dedications. So when you're ready, take a very deep breath in. Feel your ribcage expand on all sides. Find that abundance and that fullness. And then on an exhale, release. Come all the way down to the bottom. Find that emptiness. And then linger there for a moment. Take another very deep breath in. Keep your shoulders resting back. Hold for a moment just to recognize that space and then exhale. Release all that space. And then give yourself one more inhale and exhale on your own. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs to start to walk your knees back up toward each other. Pull your knees into your chest. First, gently, just rock a little bit from side to side. And then take your hands to the backs of your thighs. You're going to rock up and down the length of your spine, and you're going to end up in a boat pose. So we're going to start here with your knees up, shoulders back, lean back enough so that you can find the space where your belly starts to get taut. And then take your arms out in front of you, interlace your fingertips, release your index finger. Take your knees out wide, so you've kind of got this Baddha Konasana shape with your feet. Only your toes need to touch. You don't have to have the soles of your feet. What you're looking for is to lift your inner heels upward toward the ceiling. So you're going to have this like rotation coming up. You might feel this in your low belly. Just breathe. And then we're going to add some dynamic movement. So on an inhale, feet come down, come all the way forward, get soft. On an exhale, lift up and back, lean back, lift up your feet, lift up through your heels, point to your toes. Inhale, take yourself forward, knees wide, drop down. Exhale, lift up and back, lean back, lift up, point to your toes. Inner heels are lifting up. That should be a different feeling. All right, inhale, feet down, come all the way down. Exhale, lift up and back. Lift up through your heels, push your toes together, and take your hands to the backs of your knees, and then draw them together. Take your hands back to that Charlie Angel's Mudra. Just switch out the grip so the other pinky's on the bottom. We're going to do a little bit of side to side. So on an inhale, you're going to lower down to an Ardha Navasana, point to your toes. On an exhale, pull your knees to the left, arms to the right, keep your toes lifted. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, point to the left. Inhale, lower. Exhale, point to the right. Inhale, lower. Exhale, point to the left. Once more on either side. Come back to that Ardha Navasana. Stay here, point to your toes. And then come up, roll over onto your hands and knees, tabletop position. And we're immediately going to move into some cow and cat here. Fingertips spread wide. Inhale, drop belly, lift up hips and heart. Gaze up. Exhale, press your hands and knees, look back towards your knees. Really press through your hands. Get lots of space through your upper back. Inhale, slither your heart forward. Inner elbows are facing forward. Exhale, press up. Once more like that. All right, come back up to hands and knees. Reach your legs out long behind you, tuck your toes, come into a plank position, adjust as much as you need. So fingertips are spread wide, you're lifting up through your inner thighs. So you're even really pressing down through those pinky toes, they're supporting you here. Inner elbows are forward, a little tiny puff up through your back. And maybe look just, like a couple inches in front of your fingertips toward the center for a neutral spine in your upper neck. Continue to breathe here. All right, then shift the weight to the left foot, lift up your right toes. Place on that foot, lift up your left toes. Place on that foot, lift up your right toes. Stay here, shift the weight to your right hand, and then maybe lift your left arm out. Okay, left hand down, right toes down. Lift up your left toes, shift the weight to your left hand slightly, still lift up the inside of your left thigh, and then maybe reach your right arm out, thumb up. Take your hand back down. Start to walk your feet up towards your hands. So like really lift your hips up, 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 up. Keep your heels up as high as they can go. And then release your heels down to the mat. You might not come up all the way like you would for a forward fold. Lift up high to your toes again. Walk your feet out to the plank pose. Exhale. Walk your feet in. Lift up your heels. Keep your legs straight as much as you can. And then release your heels down. Lift up through your heels. Walk it all the way back. And then you're going to press up and back to your downward facing dog. Big inhale. Big exhale. Next inhale, right leg comes up toward the ceiling. Lift up high to your left toes to create even more space. On an exhale, take your knee to your right elbow. Keep your heel towards your bum. Shift to the floor, maybe tap your tricep. Inhale up and back. Exhale, take your knee into your nose or forehead, maybe even tap it. Inhale up and back. Exhale, knee to left, tricep or elbow. Inhale, take it up. And then on an exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. Drop your left knee, Anjaneyasana. Arms lift up, shoulder blades down. And then maybe start to press your palms toward each other. Maybe shrug your shoulders back, create more space. So pull your right heel toward left knee toward right heel. Create lots of stability here. You'll also feel like your left thumb get lit up here. Keep it strong. Then on an exhale, take your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Open arm stretch. Inhale, come up towards center. Exhale, take your right hand behind you. So you've got a twist, left fingertips are up. Inhale, back to center, Anjaneyasana. We'll do that once more. Exhale, take your right hand to the inside of the foot. Inhale, toward the ceiling. Exhale, right hand behind you. Breath in, up. Exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Lean forward, right hip knocks back. Shrug your shoulders back. Your thumbs are to your sternum. Tuck your back toes. Lift up your back knee. So really the only thing that's going to change too much is your lower body. Inhale, get even longer through your spine. Exhale, twist to the right, prayer lunge. Press your elbow to the outside of your right thigh. Maybe look beyond your right shoulder, right hip, drawing back. It's not swaying out to the right. Then look down towards your right foot. Put a little momentum front and back. And then see if you can keep your hands together. You're going to step your left foot forward, toes to meet. So you're in a chair twist. Make sure your left knee is not trying to pull beyond your right knee. Breathe, look beyond your right shoulder again. And then send your gaze down to the mat. Release both hands. Let your legs come straighter. Separate your feet halfway. Hips distance, that is. Give yourself a little bit of shake, and then inhale, halfway lift, fingertips to shins of the mat, look forward, press your feet down and away from each other. Exhale, fold, keeping that activity in your upper thighs. And then root to rise, come all the way up to standing. Arms lift all the way up. On an exhale, hands to your heart center. Arms alongside your body for Tadasana. Inhale, arms lift up, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, offer your heart halfway, lift up. Exhale, fold, step back to the top of your plank pose. On an exhale, knees up or down, chaturanga. So shift forward, elbows graze your rib cage, keep your shoulders lifted. Untuck toes, inhale for your back bend. Exhale, lift up and back to downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Press the weight back into your legs. And then when you're ready, inhale, left leg comes up, lift up high to your right toes. Exhale, take your knee to your left tricep, shift forward. Inhale up. Exhale, knee to nose or forehead, really curl in like cat. Inhale up. Exhale, take your knee to your right elbow. Inhale up. Exhale, place your foot between your hands toward your left thumb. Set yourself up for Anjaneyasana. Right knee drops down. Inhale, arms lift up, shoulders are back. Again, right hip is drawing forward, left, back. Squeeze your right glute. Give yourself lots of protection. Place your palms together, shrug your shoulders back so your biceps are behind your ears if you'd like. And then we'll take that Anjaneyasana flow. Exhale, left hand to the inside of the left foot, look up toward right thumb. Inhale, back up to center, cycle around, palm touches your back thigh. Inhale, back up to the ceiling. Exhale, left hand down, open arm. Inhale, Anjaneya. Exhale, left hand taps behind you. Inhale, back up to the ceiling. Exhale, hands to your heart center. So with the back knee down first, left hip pulls back, set yourself up, lean forward. Shrug your shoulders back, then tuck your back toes. Pop up the back knee. Super straight line here. All right, one more inhale to lengthen. Exhale, twist to the left, outside of your elbow to the outside of your thigh. Keep spiking up through the back right knee. Maybe even lean back a little bit. So you've got a really long, narrow line. Then look down to your left toes. A little bit of momentum, maybe one step or several. Your right toes will touch your left toes. Chair twist. Make sure your right knee isn't squeaking by. You want to keep them in line with each other. Just a couple more breaths here. Then look down to your toes. Release both hands down, let your hips come up. Separate your feet, hips with distance. 2 breaths here. Inhale, halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Keep your kneecaps lifted for lots of strengthening and stretching. Press through your feet, arms reach out and up. Exhale, hands to your heart. Arms alongside you, Tadasana. Stay here for 3 breaths. And then inhale, arms lift up, gaze up. Exhale, swan dive or through your heart center, come all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, step back to your plank pose or hop to chaturanga with bent elbows. Exhale, lower through chaturanga, knees up or down, untuck toes. Inhale, your back bend. Thighs are lifting away if you're taking an upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale, right leg up toward the ceiling, lift up through your left toes. On an exhale, take your right foot in between your hands toward right thumb. Set up your lower body for warrior 2, don't move just yet. Drop your right thigh, make sure that your knee is over your ankle and not behind it or above or beyond it. Hover your fingertips away from the mat first, and then unravel to your warrior 2, sit low. Shrug your shoulders back, equal weight through both legs. Straighten the front leg, lift up your right palm, exalted triangle. Exhale, wrist descend back to the warrior 2. Again like that, inhale, lift up, straighten the front leg, straighten your arm. Exhale, back to warrior 2. We're gonna sweep the left arm, come up on, pivot onto the ball of the back foot. So you're in a high crescent lunge. Sit low, get your right thigh really, really low. And you're spiking up through your back heel. Maybe even get a little bit more space so you really have your heel over your toes. Hands to heart center, lean forward. Right hip draws back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Right elbow to the outside of left thigh. Maybe you go a little bit more deeper this time. Simply breathe. Come right back up to your high lunge. Exhale, warrior 2. Open out once again. Breathe, sit more deep. This time on an exhale, you're gonna cartwheel toward the front of the mat. So you're in a low lunge. Walk your right foot out to the side. So you're setting yourself up for a lizard pose. Right toes out to the right, just slightly. For me, it's about 45 degrees. I'm gonna keep my left leg up. However, you have an option to drop the knee if you'd like. Inner elbows are pointing forward, fingertips spread wide, like down dog. Inhale, lengthen out. Exhale, either start to bend your elbows a bit, forearms onto the block. Give yourself space if you have an injury. or start to bend your elbows. Maybe your forearms come all the way down. Or if again, injury, just find some softness underneath it or find some space so you're not fully resting on it. Ever so gently draw your right knee in towards your shoulder, not super hard, just so it's not coming out to the side. Maybe think more about pressing down to 3 corners of your foot. The ball mound, big ball mound, little toe mound, and the center of your heel. Just breathe. Then press your hands into the mat, start to lift right back up. Walk your right foot back in where it was. So you're in this low lunge, pop up your back knee if you haven't already. And then you're gonna step your left foot in about 25% to 30% of the way in. We're gonna set up for a pyramid pose. So ankle that left foot down. So you've got a 45-degree angle. Right thumb to right hip crease, notch your leg back, fingers down to the mat. If your front knee needs to be bent for this, that is totally fine. Or maybe you've got blocks to assist you. Shrug your shoulder blades back, inhale, lift out. Feel how long the sides of your body are here. Then take your right hand to your right hip crease once again. Lift your left arm out so your bicep is in line with your ear, thumb up, shoulder reaching away from your left ear, but you're still gently drawing your right hip back. All right, exhale, take both hands down to the mat, and then start to deepen the pose. Start to reach your chin towards your shin. And even here, you're pressing down through both feet really strongly. Pull up on your kneecaps, helps to activate your quadriceps. Inhale, lift up halfway. We're gonna take a twisted triangle here, so a revolved triangle. Weight to left palm. First, take your right hand to your right hip crease, point up your right elbow. Press your left hand so much your right shoulder starts to stack. When you're ready, if you're ready, lift up right fingertips toward the ceiling. Might be fairly intense. Can you keep your left foot grounded? All right, next exhale, take your right hand down to the mat. Pivot onto the ball of your back foot, slide it back. Bend into the front knee so you're back to this low lunge. Pull your right heel towards your bumps, shoot it all the way back up, spike it up to that tripod dog. Bend your knee, open up through your hips. And then take a flip dog, a little bend to your left knee, let your foot drop behind you. Cycle your torso up, reach your arm back. I prefer palm down, but if you prefer palm up, do what works best for you. On an exhale, cycle all the way back, your hand will come down, your torso will follow, your leg will as well. And then place your foot next to the other, downward facing dog, 3 breaths. Very strong, downward facing dog. And then on an inhale, left leg comes up and back, lift up through your right toes, create space. Exhale, place your foot between your hands toward left thumb. Okay, so we're setting up for warrior 2 legs. Left thigh descends. You're even reaching your thigh back, looking for a straightish line. Knee over left ankle, pressing down to the outer edge of your right foot. Hover your hands away from the mat. And then unfurl your torso, the top part of your body, over your hips. For your warrior 2, maintain that low sit. And then on an inhale, straighten the front leg, lift up the arm, exalted triangle. Exhale, descend. Once more like that, lift up. Take it back. All right, pivot on the ball of your back foot, sweep your right arm towards the front of the room. High lunge, sit low, spike up through the back heel. Then take your hands to your heart center. Lean forward, left hip draws back. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Right arm to the outside. Press your palms together, lift up through your inner right thigh rather. Maybe slightly lean back. Then come back to center, arms lift. And then open up, warrior 2. Once again, settle in, get that thigh low. Shoulder blades down. And then when you're ready on an exhale, cartwheel toward the front of the mat, pivot onto the ball of your back foot. Transition to that lizard lunge once again. So left foot comes to the outside, so it's foot, hand, left toes slightly out. I find this to be very helpful. And then back knee up or down, depending on what you did on the first side. When you're ready, on an exhale, start to intensify the posture to your edge, what makes best sense for you. Then when you're ready, start to press your way back up to where you began. Heel toe the left foot back in so that your heel is in line with your knee, in line with your hip. And we're going to step the right foot forward just a bit to move to our pyramid pose. So for me, it's about 25% of the way until I can angle down my right foot so that my heel is generally in line with each other. Maybe I have a little bit of space to give my hip space. Left hand to left hip, draw it back. Make sure that your right wrist is generally below your right shoulder. Again, a little bend to your knee is fine. Check this out. And then lift your right arm out. Bicep in line with your ear, palm up. Keep pressing through your feet. Feel how long both sides of your body can get here, both sides of your torso. And then release the right hand down. Also take the left hand down. Give yourself as much room and space as you need. And on your exhales, you're going to start to reach your chin toward your shin. Just breathe. Inhale, halfway lift. And we're going to take that revolve version. So left thumb to left hip crease. Start to press the right fingertips so much that left shoulder starts to stack on top of right. And then if you'd like, unfurl fingertips. So they're pointing up toward the ceiling. Press through both feet. Get really long to the outside of your left thigh. And then exhale, take your left hand back down. Pop up onto the ball of your back foot. Shimmy it back. Maybe heel spiked up a lot. And then you're going to pull your left heel towards your bum. Shoot it up, spike it up, tripod dog. Bend your left knee, open up through your hips. Take a little bend through the right knee. You're going to drop the foot behind you for a flip dog. Lift up your hips, arm reaches beyond you. Keep pressing through everything that touches the mat or floor. And then on an exhale, whenever you're ready, cycle your left hand down, your torso and the rest of your body will follow. Your left leg is still extended. And then exhale, downward facing dog. On an inhale, rise to your toes, come to the top of a plank pose. Stay here. Inner elbows reaching forward. Find your core, find the length of the sides of your body. On an exhale, chin to chest, puff up your back, rock up and back to downward facing dog, twice more like that. Inhale, rise to toes, come to top of plank. Exhale, press up and back. And again, inhale, rise to toes, top of plank. Exhale, take it up and back. 3 breaths in downward facing dog. On inhale, right leg lifts up and back, lift up through your left toes. Exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. Drop the left heel, find warrior 2 in your lower body. And then come all the way up, warrior 2. Sit low into the right thigh. Lengthen the front leg, exalted triangle, lift up. Exhale, back to warrior 2. We're gonna sweep toward the front of the room, pivot onto the ball of back foot. And then on an exhale, you're going to take that prayer twist. So lean forward, left elbow to the outside of the thigh. Simply breathe. Then send your gaze back down to your toes. Right hand to right hip, left fingertips out in front of you. So they're going to be in the same plane as your shoulder. Shift your weight forward. We're going to move forward to the Ardha Chandrasana, but the revolved Pavarita. So shift weight forward, left leg will lift. You might need to step those fingertips out a bit, lift up long through the right thigh. Press out through the left foot. You can point or flex or point, some other option. Pointing your right elbow toward the ceiling. Pointing your fingertips up toward the ceiling when you're ready. Maybe hover left fingertips away from the mat, because why not? You've got this one life. Go ahead and try it. Okay, things are gonna get fun. Right hand back to right hip. Bend through the right knee. Start to bring your left knee up. So your thigh is parallel to the mat. Right hand to the outside of left thigh. You're gonna take your left hand to your hip, elbow pointed back. Extend your arm back. And if you want to take a fuller version, slide your right hand down your left calf to the outside of your foot and extend your leg out. Okay, it's going to get fun again. Whatever grip you've got, you're going to release it. Right hand to right hip, shift it forward. Left arm comes down, moving back to that revolved half moon pose, right fingertips up. Exhale, come up to standing. Right hand to the outside of thigh, Maybe take extension. Exhale, we're going to remove back all the way to the revolved half moon. And then bend both knees here. Your left knee is going to tuck behind your right until you sit all the way down onto your bum, but your legs are crossed. And if you're like, I'm not sure what happened, just make sure your legs are crossed here. Your left knee is on the bottom, your right knee is up top, foot to the outside. Lean back, fingertips point away from you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist at your belly. Left elbow to the outside of right thigh. Take your twist. Active fingertips to your left hand. Shift your weight even towards your left hip, so you're sharing your weight equally between your hips. Exhale, send your gaze back to front. Unravel, take a counter twist over to the left. Drop your head. And then keeping that walking to the left, you're going to spin all the way around until you're twisted up the other way. And if that didn't make sense, just flop out your legs. Nice there. So your right knee is on the bottom, left knee is on top. Lean back with your left hand. Inhale, arm lifts, twist at your belly, twist, 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 twist. Elbow to the outside. If that's not working for you, injuries or otherwise, just hug your knee in. Send your gaze back to front. Unravel completely, counter twist. No funny stuff this time. Lift up. Okay, so lift up your knees, cross at your ankles, press up onto your feet a bit, hands down. So adjust as you need. So you're up onto your toes, fingertips spread wide, elbows in line with your shoulders, look forward. You're gonna shoot back to a chaturanga. So when you land, your elbows are gonna start to bend, but keep your shoulders lifted up, keep your core engaged. So use an exhale, so you're automatically drawing in your core. Lean forward, press up with your feet, exhale, chaturanga. Untuck toes for your back bend, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog whenever you're ready. 3 breaths. When you are ready, inhale, left leg up and back, lift up to your right heel. Exhale, place your foot between your hands toward left thumb. Find warrior 2 in your lower body. Hover your hands when you're ready, unravel, warrior 2. Sit low. Straighten the front leg, exalted triangle, lift up your left fingertips. Exhale, take it back to warrior 2. Pivot toward the front of the room to come to your high lunge. Lift up, hands to heart center, lean forward, make your way to the twisted prayer lunge. Spike up through the back knee. Just breathe. All right, look down towards your left toe again. Left hand to left hip. Right hand down, reach out way, way, way in front of you. And again, a little bit of momentum. You're going to shift your weight forward and you're going to lift up your right leg. So we're coming for that Ardha Chandrasana, revolved, pointing left elbow up, activity through the lifted leg, activity through everything. Left fingertips unfurl toward the ceiling. Maybe hover right fingertips away from the mat, because why not? Just breathe. Keep long to the outside of your left thigh. Let's make it fun. Start to bend both knees. Come up to standing. Yes. Right thigh eventually will become parallel to the mat. Right hand to right hip. Point your elbow behind you. Take your left hand to the outside of right thigh. Maybe right arm extends out. Perhaps take an extended variation. Left hand draws down the foot. Let's take it back. Release whatever bind you've got. Sweep towards the front. Shoot the leg back. Back to Ardha Chandrasana, revolved. And then up again. Bend both knees, come up to standing. Twist your torso and chest to the right. Maybe extend through the lifted leg. Once more, exhale. Take it all the way back down to your revolved half moon. And then bend both knees. Tuck your right knee behind the other. Come all the way down onto your bum. Your bum between your heels for that twisted posture. Matsyendrasana. Shift your weight back onto left palm, fingertips away from you. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twisted belly, elbow to the outside, or draw your forearms around your knees. Exhale, send your gaze back to center. Unravel, counter twist over to the right, let your head drop. And then either switch out your legs or yoga magic, spin all the way around until your legs are twisted the other way. Right hand behind you, lean back, fingertips away. Create space, inhale, left arm lifts up, exhale, twist. Either elbow to the outside of thigh or hugging your knee in towards you. Inhale back to center and then unravel. Counter twist over to the left. Press your way back up. And then once again, lift up both knees, cross at your ankles. Lean forward so your palms can come down. Come up high to your toes. You know where we're gonna go. We're gonna shoot back to chaturanga. So elbows are always pointing back already. Inner elbows forward, fingertips spread wide, long neck, strong core. When you're ready, you're gonna press through your hands, your feet. Exhale, shoot back to chaturanga. Yeah, untuck toes, inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, lift up and back to downward facing dog, just breathe. Then bend your knees, look beyond your hands, and you're gonna hop to a seat in the center of your mat. We're gonna take a fire log pose next. Lots of stuff has been happening through our hips. I'm gonna start with my right shin on the bottom. So my shin is gonna be parallel to the top of my mat, so the short end of my mat. Lean back, flex your left foot, place your heel on top of your knee. Gingerly start to drop your knee down. If this is going okay, walk your hands in closer and let your knee drop down further. If you're like, no ma'am, I'm fine right here, then you're fine right there. If you've got, like generally your shins on top of each other, and you do want them to be parallel, like one way that your body's gonna try to like help you out is gonna be to draw the bottom heel closer to your hip. Try to avoid that. I know it's a hard pose. And then if you'd like, if this is comfortable for you, you're gonna start to hinge forward. Keep your hands kind of generally in the same plane as your shoulders, just for support. Keep your back straight for this variation. Move on your exhales. Lengthen through your spine. Inhale, lift up, lean back. Uncross the top leg. Place your foot down. Lift up the right. Place your foot down. Drop both knees over to the right. Let your left hip climb up a bit. Knees to center, drop both knees to the left. Your right hip will climb up a bit. It's okay. Okay, then come back to center. We're gonna do the other side. If you're going with me, now the left shin is gonna be parallel to the front of the mat. Keep leaning back to help yourself out. Right heel to the top of the knee. Start to drop the knee down. Start to walk your hands up. Adjust yourself as you need, maybe pulling like flesh away from your sit bones, right? Like move your bum away. Check out your shins. You want them to be parallel, best you can. Don't let your body cheat against you. Shoulder blades back. And then as you'd like, start to hinge your way forward. Keep your feet gently flexed. Start to just recognize where you are. What's changed? What is the same? Start to lift your way up, lean back, uncross the top leg, put the foot down, and then the bottom one. Your knees fairly wide, your feet fairly wide from each other, then drop both knees over to the left, your hip climbs up a bit. Shift it up to center, and then rotate to the other side. Take your knees back up, walk your feet in so they're hips width distance. Hands behind your thighs, shrug your shoulder blades back, lean back. Lift up your shins. Reach your arms out in front of you, palms up, shoulder blades back, right through your chest like you're doing a cobra pose here. You might even feel an intensification in your core as you do that. Start to extend your legs out, start to lower down to Ardha Navasana. Your arms are still out in front of you. Shoulders are lifted, heels are lifted, look towards your toes. Keep your breath long and slow. Lots of control. And then exhale, release everything down to the mat. Come into a happy baby pose or a wind relieving pose, which is simply bring your knees into your chest. Find your rock back and forth, you might find soothing. Or maybe you've had quite enough dynamic movement and you'd like some stillness. What is going to be the thing that speaks to your dedication? Answer the call. I'm going to take a gentle supine twist. Keep your right knee in, extend your left leg out. Draw your knee across your body, adjust as you need. And if it is comfortable, send the gaze out to the right. Maybe allow your eyes to close. At the very least, allow your gaze to soften. On your exhale, take head and knee back to center. Right leg out, left knee in, and then same different, drop to the other side. As you're ready to take your head and knee back to center. Pull both knees into your chest, one final embrace. The final posture of this class is Shavasana. So start to move yourself to that position. Give yourself a few moments to adjust so that you know that you can be still for a little bit. Our final resting pose. We're going to take the muscle activity away from all the parts of your body that you've so actively been using. Loosen the grip on your expectations, loosen the grip on your thoughts. Allow yourself to be. Drift your thoughts back to your dedication and breathe a little bit more life into your body. And exhale to release that life back out. When you're ready, let's start to create some more movement into your physical body, informed by the dedication you've set. Roll over onto your right side. Pause here for a few moments. And with your eyes closed or with a soft gaze, make your way to seated posture for a brief reflection and meditation before we close out our practice. On an inhale, reach your arms out and up, palms press above you, look up towards your thumbs. On an exhale, take your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and then to your heart for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart, offering yourself and this practice and each other gratitude. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I am eternally grateful for you. In the name of the highest good, namaste.
Thanks, Courtney. That was great. Thank you. I really liked the yoga magic there. That was kind of fun.